Hey guys, Carson here, and look what we found flying around in a custom battle. We found this beautiful factory mission. Although not really a factory mission, but it does involve bombing a factory. This operation is called Battle Stalingrad. It seems like the normal Stalingrad map, but just much larger. As you can see from the map, here it has 4 airfields on each side. Also has this factory here in the center. And the objective is to get a heavy bomber, or whatever, maybe not a heavy bomber, and bomb the factory. And that's really cool because the Gaijin have been saying this is what they wanted to add for a long time. They wanted bombable factories that you could actually, something so it isn't like little AA guns for the big bombers that are flying really high up to bomb. So you can see RQs is coming in here and he's going to bomb the factory for us and show us what happens. We can't really see how much you get for destroying the factory by bombing it because this is a custom battle. It's in the game but not like in rotation. But also there's the city of Stalingrad here, which if this is going to be something they do for the World War mode, because it is really large map, these cities could make for some interesting fighting, defending all these back streets, defending this little hill, preventing the crossings of these rivers over here as you try to defend the factory from the ground. Okay guys, continuing on, Arcus has bombed and destroyed the factory, but while he did that we noticed that the factory was spawning tanks over and over, and these tanks have then pushed into the village and continued on going, which is nice to see. There's also been infantry that was shooting at Arcus in his B-17 as he was flying around bombing the base. So it's nice to see that we're having large targets for the heavy bombers to shoot, and it's also spawning the vehicles, which is interesting for when the tanks come in. So this might be the defending team's spawn point. At the factory that's actually spawning the tanks, which, doesn't make any sense, really. Like, here, have a ready working tank with the crew, straight out of the factory, fresh off the presses, right out of the oven. But, whatever. And so then when you bomb this, the tank stops spawning, so it might be somewhat like Rush in Battlefield, where you lose spawn point you lose A, gets destroyed, you have to move back to B. So our second objective is cover the repair camp at L11, which is just down here, but there's nothing there. It's not modeled in. It's just open, flat, nothing. But this part, so it's almost like the first stage of the battle is in, but not the second. Down there, though, there's some interesting stuff, but it's a very small barge and a ton of barrels. So it might be something where you need to protect the supplies being ferried across the river. Maybe it's like secret documents. That's the team that's attacking the factory has to try and cover as they bring them over, although they're blue for me, so they're probably my team. So they're probably like supplies or maybe even troops taken from the opposite bank. You have to escort them and get them back safely, which is just nice. And it's really great to think of how I'm seeing these cities and these planes and everything. I'm just thinking this is going to be amazing when the tanks fight here, because that's really what this whole thing seems geared towards. This seems like the spot of the new World War mode. Like, look, the river is pretty wide. You might be able to fit ships through on either end, and they meet in the middle, although that might be cutting it fine. Then you can see the tanks fighting through the city into the suburbs and out into the forest, covering the bridges across the rivers, fighting in the plains as one team tries to move in and take Stalingrad and destroy the factory. There are also some, I guess, ambient or maybe just random explosions that are happening throughout the city as well. There's just things are randomly blowing up all over the place. I don't see it that much now. But all these smoke trails, there's nothing there. Nobody's crashed or bombed or anything. None of the tanks are dead. This is just random explosions that have been happening throughout the city. And yeah, so doesn't seem like there's anything after the factory modeled in, like the repair camp, as I said, it's just not there. It's right over there, but as you can see, it's just where Angry Beaver crashed his plane, and just a bunch of open space. But, you know, it gets you thinking, we're close to having some stuff resembling tank maps, resembling World War mode. And it's good. Gaijin said they've been trying to put this in, and it's nice to see it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.